What is going on, you guys? Alex Chasen back here with a brand new video, and today I'm going to try to predict the entire NBA Cup. Who is winning each group in group play, who is making it to the quarterfinals, who is making it to the semifinals, and who is making it to the finals, and ultimately, who is winning the 2024 NBA Cup. We're going to dive right into things, but real quick, just a quick note, I'm talking to Adam Silver in the NBA. Why did you change the name from the IST, the in-season tournament, to the NBA Cup? When you call it the NBA Cup, it feels like you're trying too hard to make it the World Cup or something that involves soccer, football. It sounds too similar. If you left it as the in-season tournament, maybe it's not as fancy sounding, but it's unique, it's different. And I know the NBA is a global game, so calling it the NBA Cup definitely might attract some other viewers from around the globe. I'm all for that. I'm all for the growth of the game of basketball and specifically the NBA Association. I don't know why I said NBA Association. I'll just say this, the National Basketball Association. I'm all for the growth of it. But NBA Cup, it's not as unique as the in-season tournament. Either way, just nitpicking. Adam Silver, I'm talking to you on that one. But everyone else, let's dive right into this. And the first thing I want to do is just quickly explain the in-season tournament or NBA Cup. I just want to quickly explain it and how it actually works. So there's 6 different groups, 3 in the East, 3 in the West. There are 5 teams in each grouping for a total, of course, of 30 NBA teams, and 8 teams will advance to the knockout round. So 1 team from each grouping will advance to the knockout round, that is 6, and then there are 2 wildcard teams that also advance to the knockout rounds. Those 2 teams are basically the teams with the best next records after the other 3 teams that actually qualified first. So that's kind of how that works out. There are some other more ingrained details on how the standings work based off if it's a tied record, it goes to points and matchup stats. We don't need to get into that, but that is the basic fundamental idea of how these 8 teams end up in the knockout rounds. But now let's start predicting heading into group play, starting off in the Western Conference. The first grouping here has the Timberwolves, the Clippers, the Kings, the Rockets, and the Trailblazers. Definitely one of the weaker groups. It's not bad by any means, but there are some we're going to talk about that are a gauntlet, an actual sword fight. They're going to be to the death in some of these groupings. But this one, not quite that. It's competitive, but nothing crazy. I am thinking I'm going to go with the Rockets or the Timberwolves, but I am going to pick the Minnesota Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards, he is that type of player that wants to win the in-season tournament. And I don't mean that in a bad way. He's just so competitive that he wants to win everything he touches. And that said, the Timberwolves, their defensive identity is there. It's been there for a while now. It's been locked in this season still. Offensively, not as quite as strong, but there's a lot of new faces there. Dante DiVincenzo, Julius Randle, they're figuring some things out still. That said, the Rockets are really their only competition. I know the Clippers and Kings are playing good ball right now. The Kings are definitely a good team, but I'm going to go with the Minnesota Timberwolves making it out of this grouping. Moving on to the other group here. Now, this one is one of the ones that is a gauntlet. 2 teams aren't as strong, but these 3 teams right here, the Thunder, the Suns, and the Lakers, that is a gauntlet. That is matchups I need to watch when the time comes to see them. The other 2 teams are the Jazz and the Spurs. So I started thinking about who is going to win these groupings 2 to 3 days ago. And since then, we have seen injuries. We have seen Chet Holmgren go down for 8 to 10 weeks with an injury last night. Kevin Durant went down for a couple weeks. There's been a lot of injuries. So originally, I was like, it's either the Suns or the Thunder making it out of this group. But now, give me the LA Lakers. I mean, not that they have a cakewalk in any way, shape, or form, but who is guarding Anthony Davis for any of these teams? Victor Wembanyama, he'll be good, but the Spurs aren't making it out of this group. They're just not. It's just not happening. Could it maybe now that some teams are injured? Maybe, but I still don't see that happening. I'm going with the Lakers. They're healthy right now. Anthony Davis has been playing out of his mind this entire season. LeBron James is LeBron James. Who is guarding AD? Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein are both out for the Thunder for the foreseeable future, especially Chet Holmgren. For the Suns, Nurkic will never guard anyone, ever. Pretty good, he'll never do it. So, that said, give me the LA Lakers winning this grouping. No one's guarding AD. They're not playing as hot as they started the season, but they're still playing good basketball, and I think they'll make it out of this group. Moving on to the next Western Conference grouping, it's the Nuggets, the Mavericks, the Pelicans, the Warriors, and the Memphis Grizzlies. This is the best one by far, because there's not one weak link team. I mean, I guess you could say the Pelicans because Zion is injured. He's out for a bit, and they're just kind of injured and just not as good as they should be. But either way, they still have Brandon Ingram. They still have CJ McCollum, and they still have obviously some good depth pieces there, Herb Jones. So they're still going to be competitive in these games no matter what. But the Grizzlies, who are also down Ja, there's been so many injuries in the NBA. But Ja's only out for like 1 or 2 weeks, so maybe he comes back at the back end of this NBA Cup. So I'm going to still kind of count him as there. The Warriors, the Mavericks, and the Nuggets. I'm going to go with the Warriors. They proved last night they're not a joke. They beat the best team in the Western Conference, one of the best teams in the NBA, in the Oklahoma City Thunder. They beat them. They proved, because that was like their first super test. Of course, the Celtics were a super test, but that was the East. This was like their first super test in the West, and they've beat both of them. They've beat the Thunder, yeah. They beat the Thunder and the Celtics. They proved they are officially a competitive team in this season. So give me the Warriors in this grouping. It's not going to be easy. The Nuggets are starting to turn up. They're playing really good ball. After starting the season just disgusting, I mean, went to overtime with the Brooklyn Nets and needed Jokic to drop like a 40-point triple-double to beat the Brooklyn Nets. Not a good start, plus also some of their losses to start the year, but they're turning up, so they very well could make it out of this group. The Grizzlies, like I said, are down Ja. That's only for a week or two. If he comes back, maybe it's a different story, but the Warriors are healthy, and they're looking really good, so give me the Warriors out of this group. For the wild card teams in the Western Conference, or the wild card team, not the wild card teams, give me the Oklahoma City Thunder. Their group is not as daunting as it was, a few days ago before everyone got hurt, but it's still a tough one. And I think the Thunder just have the capabilities to be that team. I mean, they still have Shea, they still have J-Dub, and they have really good depth. I know their center situation is now non-existent for right now. They're going to have to figure that out. But we've seen them run small ball lineups where they have Alex Caruso at one of the forward or center positions, and it still works because they're that good on the court together. So I'm going to go with the Thunder as my wild card team in the Western Conference. Starting off in the Eastern Conference, in the first group, we have the Knicks, the Magic, the 76ers, the Brooklyn Nets, and the Charlotte Hornets. This is a battle of very mid to mediocre teams so far this year. Of course, the Knicks should be good. The 76ers should be good. The Magic should be solid. The Hornets, I think, will be solid. The Brooklyn Nets are exceeding expectations. So who is winning this grouping? This one took me a while just because there's no one really standing out. Like, the easy pick would be the New York Knicks, but they're not playing good basketball right now. So what's going to make me think, this week, the next week, the week after that, they're going to crush these teams? I just don't think that right now. The 76ers, they got a lot to figure out there. I don't think they're worried about this. The Magic are hurt. They can't really score points with Paul Banchero. They're not going to be able to do it without him. And then the Brooklyn Nets and the Charlotte Hornets are the last two teams. Give me the Charlotte Hornets making it out of this group. It might be a hot take, but I'm for it. I'm a believer in the Hornets. And they're just playing teams that really are kind of in a weird position right now. So give me the Charlotte Hornets. They're really one of the only healthy teams. I mean, the Brooklyn Nets are healthy, but if I'm picking one of the two, I'm going with the Charlotte Hornets. And I love Brendan Miller, Roll Tide. So give me the Charlotte Hornets making it out of this group. Moving on, in the next group, we have the Milwaukee Bucks, the Indiana Pacers. That matchup right there will just feed generations. That's a fantastic matchup. The Miami Heat, also a great team. The Raptors and the Pistons. Definitely a pretty good mix of teams here. Like I said, that Pacers versus Bucks matchup is going to be awesome. Throwing the Heat in there is always fun. The Raptors and Grady Dick, he looks pretty good. Scotty Barnes is hurt, though, so that diminishes a lot of their opportunity for the next 4 or 6 weeks that he's out. I forget the exact timetable, but something like that. And then you have the Detroit Pistons, who are kind of like that Hornets team, an up-and-coming team that is playing competitive basketball right now. Don't have the best record, but they're winning more games than where they were last year at this time. So they're moving in the right direction. But who is winning this grouping? In my opinion, it's between the Heat and the Pacers. The Milwaukee Bucks are in shambles. The Raptors are hurt with Scotty Barnes. The Pistons might be a sneaky one, but I just don't have full confidence in them yet. I'm going with the Indiana Pacers. They're heating up right now. They started off the year really bad, or more like Tyrese Halliburton started off the year really bad, which made them have a bad record. But they're 5-5. They've climbed their way back up to 500. They're playing solid basketball. So I'm going to go with the Pacers. I think they're a team that is going to continuously get better as the weeks go on, especially after starting off the year pretty slow. And I think it's a good time for them to hit this NBA Cup. So give me the Indiana Pacers making it out of this group. And then the final group here. It holds the Boston Celtics, the Cavaliers. I mean, that's the matchup we want to see. The Bulls, the Hawks, and the Wizards. So 3 duds, and then you have the Celtics and the Cavs. I'm going with the Cavs. I think this first matchup here, the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to beat the Boston Celtics in this group play. I just don't think the Celtics, without Kristaps Porzingis, truly have answers for Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley. I know Neemias Queta, Luke Cornett, Xavier Tillman, those guys are good quality centers, but when you're going up against real good bigs in Allen and Mobley, that just doesn't really matter anymore. And without Kristaps Porzingis, I think the Celtics are going to struggle. So I'm going to go with the Cavs to make it out of this grouping, because if they beat the Celtics, you think they're going to lose any of those other games? Probably not. The Hawks haven't looked terrible. Risha Shea has looked pretty good. Obviously, Trae Young is Trae Young, but I don't think they can compete quite as much as the Celtics and Cavs are going to compete, of course, in this group. So give me the Cavs making it out of this group. And then my wild card team is going to be the Boston Celtics, because they're going to beat up on the Bulls, the Hawks, and the Wizards. And they're going to be my wild card team because of that. So now we're moving on to the quarterfinals, and we'll just keep it out in the Eastern Conference. The 4 teams that are making it are the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Boston Celtics, the Indiana Pacers, and the Charlotte Hornets. In the first quarterfinals matchup, we have the 1 seed versus the 4-seeded Boston Celtics. Give me the Celtics. I know I just said the Celtics will have no answer for Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen. That remains the same. But they're not losing to them twice. It's just not happening. The Celtics are too good to lose to them twice, and they still have Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, White, Holiday. They have a fully healthy team besides Kristaps Porzingis. Peyton Pritchard could be the 6th man of the year. They have a great team. I don't need to explain the Celtics, and they're not going to lose to them twice. I think they lose to them in group play, but when it comes to the quarterfinals, give me the Celtics making it out of that. Then we have the Pacers versus the Hornets. That's going to be a good matchup. Neither have great defenses. Both have pretty good offenses. Of course, the Pacers have one of the best offenses, and they're proving that again. They're starting to prove that again. Give me the Pacers. They're going to find their hot streak at the right time. It's going to be in this tournament, in my opinion. That's my prediction. Give me the Pacers. Moving on to the Western Conference quarterfinals, we have the 1-seeded Lakers versus the 4-seeded wild card Thunder, and then we have the 2-seeded Warriors versus the 3-seeded Timberwolves. Lakers versus Thunder. Give me the Lakers. Chet and iHeart are still going to be out, and they have no answer for Anthony Davis. I know the Thunder play good small ball. That's why I have them making it to the wild card team. That's why I have them being the 4 seed. But they're not going to have an answer for Anthony Davis when it's coming to the quarterfinals. So give me the Lakers winning this matchup. And then the Warriors versus the Timberwolves. I'm riding the hot hand. Give me the Warriors. I'm riding the hot hand. I hate to say it. Give me the Warriors. It might be the lame pick, but I'm going with them. And that means we have, going to Las Vegas, the Indiana Pacers and the Boston Celtics and the Golden State Warriors and the LA Lakers. Coming out of the semifinals in the Eastern Conference and heading to the finals, give me the Boston Celtics. They're going to beat the Indiana Pacers. They lost to them earlier this season. It's not going to happen again. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, I have confidence in them winning this versus the Pacers. That's always a good matchup. And I'm going with the Celtics. That's my team. I know some of these picks might be boring, but I got to go with the Celtics. I can't not believe in them. And then heading to the finals out of the Western Conference, is it the Warriors or the Lakers? I'm going with the Lakers. I know they were there last year. I actually picked the Warriors, but just this second I switched my mind. I just don't see anyone when it comes to this. I'm not talking about future championship playoffs, but when it comes to this right now, the Lakers are just that team that cares about this stuff. They do. And who is stopping Anthony Davis, right? Who's stopping them? Yes, the Warriors have some good big bodies like Trayce Jackson-Davis, Kevon Looney, but I don't know. The only thing where I think the Warriors can win is they'll outshoot the Lakers by a million, because, the Lakers and JJ Redick are trying to implement more threes, but they don't really have enough three-point shooters. You know what? No, I'm stopping it. I'm going with my original pick. This is right now me just switching my mind so many times. Give me the Warriors. They're going to outshoot the Lakers. I don't care that Anthony Davis, he can drop 40. They are going to outshoot the Lakers by a mile. Give me the Warriors. It's not a confident pick, but give me the Warriors, which that means we have a rematch of the 2022 finals. The Celtics versus the Warriors. This one, I don't know, guys. I have no clue. Could go either way. The Warriors just beat the Celtics a few nights ago. The Celtics are coming off a championship. Does that mean they carry that energy into this? Probably not. I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna flip a coin because I'll be right back. I'm gonna flip a coin. Alrighty, I got a penny, and you don't even want to know how long it took me to find this thing. I mean, I was digging for at least 10 minutes. I even forgot to shut my door. I mean, I was out in my kitchen looking for a penny. Anyways, we got the penny, and heads is gonna be the Boston Celtics. Tails is gonna be the Golden State Warriors. I know, I just can't pick, so I thought I'd have some fun with it. Again, heads is the Celtics, tails is the Golden State Warriors. We flipped it on the hand, and it's heads. That means my Boston Celtics, yeah, there might be some bias there, but the penny has no bias, and it picked the Boston Celtics, so I'm not mad about that. Anyways, hopefully you guys did enjoy today's video, and let me know down in the comments below, who is your NBA Cup winner? I'll see you guys very soon, and like always, peace out.